Brain aneurysms were not a completely foreign concept to me. I knew about them because of my family history, at least in theory. But knowing about aneurysm and being told that I personally have not one but two aneurysms is a completely different thing. I am a patient who have been diagnosed with two brain aneurysms. If you are watching this video because you have just been diagnosed with brain aneurysm or someone close to you are, I want you to know that you are not alone. And that's why I am sharing my experience as a patient. This video is about how I find out that I have brain aneurysms, not from doctor's perspective, but from the perspective of someone in the other side of the conversation. When I found out that I have brain aneurysms, naturally like anyone else, I was looking everywhere for the information. I looking on the internet and all the studies. I found plenty of information from medical professionals, from doctors, stating the fact and why it happens, but rarely I found any of the patient story. With this video, I want to fill that gap and I want to take you through my experience and my journey. Just to be clear before I go on, I am not a medical professional and this is not a medical advice. I am only sharing my experience as a patient. Everyone's situation is different, so please talk to your doctor what applies to you. Before I continue, I want to explain what is brain aneurysm, especially for the people who are not familiar with it. So the simplest way, the way I understand is that brain aneurysm is the weak spot in your blood vessel. So in our brain, the blood goes through artery and sometimes those arteries get weakened, their walls get weakened, and then it creates a bulge or a balloon. And that's what the brain aneurysm is. One analogy I can think of is that how in the garden hose, if you have a very old garden hose and that garden hose surface become weak, then sometime it create a little bulge. And if the water press goes up, that bulge may burst, it may rupture. So similarly in our artery, when you have those bulge due to the weak spot, and if someone's blood pressure increases, there is a chance of bleeding from that bulge or rupturing it. So brain aneurysm as it is has no symptoms, not at all. They rarely have symptoms, and around 2% of the US population said to have brain aneurysm, but most of them do not know about it. Most of the time, brain aneurysms are found incidentally, the way I found out, and I'm going to go over that how I found out. So, just having a brain aneurysm is not a problem. You can continue with your life, but sometime they bleed, they rupture with a high blood pressure or something else, and that's the time it becomes life-threatening. I'm not telling you this to scare you, but that's what I learned since I found out that I have brain aneurysm. One thing to keep in mind that not all brain aneurysms are same. So it depends on what size they are, where they are located, and what shape they are. These three things, the size, location, and shape, actually provide information that how risky that brain aneurysm is and if you actually need a treatment for this. With that context that what brain aneurysm is, I just want to share my experience that how I found out about my brain aneurysms. So this summer, one time I started having a ringing in my ear, and I went to my ear doctor, audiologist, and they did all the check and they said that it's fine. That's a condition called tinnitus, and that happens with age, and sometimes it goes away. There is no problem. But if you want to be extra sure, just go for an MRI of your ear canal. And I thought like, oh, it's a harmless. I can just go from an MRI, and I want to be just assured that nothing wrong with my ear canal. So I went to an MRI for my ear canal, and that MRI came clean. I didn't have any problem with my ear canal. I was all good. But the MRI also said that, by the way, we have noticed two brain aneurysms in your brain. And that changed my life right there. I remember I got a call from my primary care physician, and she said that, hey, don't get alarmed, but you have two brain aneurysms and you need to go and see a neurosurgeon. As I said before, that I knew about brain aneurysm because my mother had it. And unfortunately, my mother also passed away with the bleeding from her brain aneurysm at age 73. So as soon as I heard that, that's the thing went through my mind. Why? Why me? Even though I knew it, I was at a risk, but it was pretty scary to hear that. What's going to happen to me? What's going to happen to my kids who are still studying? Even though when doctors share information, there is still a gap between information, knowledge, and reassurance. That is why I am documenting my journey. I have been diagnosed but not yet treated, and I want to share my entire journey from decision making to my treatment and recovery in real time as I go on. I don't have all the answers, and I am not trying to give any advice. I am just honestly sharing my experience, my journey with someone who is looking for information, who are scared, who are confused, and who has to go through this process. In future video, I will share my conversation with doctors, my decision making, my treatment, and also recovery. If this video helped you a little, you are welcome to like, subscribe, and share. And if you are someone who is going through this, I wish you all the best and strength in the world. Thank you.